Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I wanted to do things a little bit different today. So obviously I think we left off at chapter 12 in our book, but I also wanted to share with you the coolest, one of the coolest meetings coming along Foster Corporate in a long time. I don't know if you guys watched it, but it was the Dale Madison. So I have a buyer, the one that he did last week was absolutely fantastic. So if you didn't watch it, I'm going to show you where to find it so that you can go back and watch the recording. Then I'll show you where to download the resources that were with that. I've already downloaded them. I thought they were great. My mom actually loved also that webinar, downloaded the resources, and actually had her clients fill it out already. So it was the same day of the webinar. So it was just so perfect. So it was really kind of cool, and I wanted to share that with you guys and make sure that you know about it. Make sure that you're aware that this resource is out there for you to take advantage of, because I think it really is. I think it's something that we need to implement into new agent onboarding. You know, I think it's really, really important that people feel like they have a layout, a design, a plan for sitting down and meeting with a new potential buyer. What are the questions that I should be asking? You know, and I thought Dale did a fantastic job of laying that out.
Is that based on Ninja or?
No, I think it was a combination of many things, and when I show it to you, you'll probably recognize some of it. Maybe from Ninja, maybe from, you know, Buffini, maybe from other places. In fact, one of the things that he does, and I just thought so much of it, was he incorporates that referral conversation in that initial buyer consultation, which is something that we've talked about several times. You know, you want to plant that seed early so that you can bring it up later on, and it's not a surprise to them. You don't come off just a salesperson. So I thought that was so cool that he does that too. So.
Okay, I can talk now. I'm home
Very good, very good, very.
and off my phone.
I don't know, have you been able to hear?
Yes. Yeah, I heard you while I was coming in the door here.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, this computer's moving very, very, very slow, but I'm gonna try to be patient. I'll try to be patient and that's where it's at. So for those who might watch this video later on, obviously we're on the homepage of the cafe right now, where there are a gazillion different resources. But the video and the trainings are housed under the app Stream. And so you can go to this dialog here and you can look under the apps section. If you don't see the app Stream, then you click on the add more and you can scroll down until you find it. So Stream, this is what it looks like. I know you guys probably already know this, but somebody watching next week might not know. So when you go to Stream, then it opens this huge menu of videos and resources that Long & Foster houses here for us to find. So let's go back here. Go down here. And so specialty classes is how this was categorized. And you can always go in here and find, there's 190 plus videos or specialty classes that have been recorded here. There's over 47 Moxie Present classes. There's 95 Moxie Engage classes. So there's tons and tons of resources available for you here. Most of it is a recorded video that also includes some tangible resources like these, for example. And so these are documents that Dale Madison goes over in his class, in his presentation. So it was, I thought, just really, really, really well laid out. So it's an hour class. If you guys haven't seen it, I would encourage you to go into Stream and watch this and download these resources, which I want to show you. Since I downloaded them already, I'm just going to do it this way through my email. Hopefully. Did you guys see my new QR code? Cool.
That is cool.
Get it for free. Just go to link, LINQ. The only thing you really have to pay for is if you order a bracelet or a card or something like that. But you can have the account QR code for free. It's kind of neat. Kind of neat. All right, so we'll wait for these resources here to load because this is what I wanted to talk to you about. So
You did that. Sorry, I thought we were waiting for it to load at my phone, because I have Stream on my phone. and you
Yes,
can
yes.
access the stuff there.
that's a great reminder. If you're not aware of that, Stream is available as a download app on your smartphone so that you have access to all of those videos right on your cell phone, when you're sitting in the airport or wherever you happen to be. So the buyer interview agenda, right? And so this obviously took a lot of time to put this kind of stuff together. And so thank you, first of all, to Dale Madison for doing this. But basically, this is a script, right? This is a dialogue. This is his reminder of what he wants to bring up in his conversation when he sits down with a potential buyer. He wants to talk about, the TMG for philosophy. TMG is his team name. I think it's called the Matson Group. Is his team up in DC. And so that's why it says the TMG for philosophy. And he says it's all about the experience. And so I thought this is a perfect place to drop in, my purpose is, to make you so exceedingly happy, blah, 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 and to get those words out into the conversation. And so he talks about knowledge, experience, competency, strategy, being their advocate, negotiating on their best, on their behalf, always being responsive and helping them to get what they want out of this process. And then he goes through this entire dialogue. So obviously you can tweak this, you can edit this, you can, make it fit you and your own personality. Totally, obviously acceptable. But the way he presented it in his class, I thought it was really good. So now, obviously it was an hour class. I think Mom said that she went through this whole thing in about 30 minutes. So when you're doing it in real life, it's a little different than trying to teach it to someone. And I'm sure it would come off much more natural. So would you say it was easy for you to go through this, Mom?
It was, yeah, it was. I thought it was incredible when I watched the webinar that he did. I mean, he literally touched on every single ABC 1, 2, 3 on this agenda. And, and he did it in the full version, which is great for us, because if you look at like down here where he has, information analysis. I mean, you may think, well, what can you say about information analysis? I don't know what he's talking about, but when you listen to him talk, it all makes sense. And so we can cut it down to, like Jason said, we put it down in our words and we explain it the way we explain things. What I got the best part out of it, and it's not on this list, it's on his buyer prospect sheet. When you show that, is on the bottom. Yeah. It says to already talk with them during this initial interview about referrals and to explain to them right at this very first buyer consultation that your business thrives by referrals, and let them know that statistically, everybody knows 6 people that's going to buy or sell it next year. And you want to be top of mind when they hear those friends of theirs talking about buying or selling. And then throughout your interaction with them, remind them, referrals. Remember, I'm doing a great job for you, and I'll do a great job for your brother, sister, family, friend, whatever. And just keep that conversation open all the time. So it was great. I mean, it came at just the right time for me because I had picked up a new lead that morning. They came in that afternoon. I printed it. They filled it out. We were on an offer the next morning. It's like, hello. So
this is perfect timing.
It was perfect timing.
Yeah.
And I think in all my years, I've kind of like touched on all of those things.
Yeah.
But this is a black and white, 1, 2, 3, this is what we say, period.
That's what I thought was really interesting about it, was that it is written down and it's structured.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, most of the time, I mean, I'm sure we've all talked about these things at some point throughout the process of working with a buyer. But to have this conversation in such depth at the very beginning of your relationship, I
Mhm.
think just adds another level of service and organization
Right.
to your process. For buyer concerns, for example, this is never anything that I've seen written down in this way. And so here's an opportunity then for your buyer to, you know, let you know what's most important to them. You know, are the schools most important? Is crime or security the most important? What kind of a yard is important to you? Or, you know, how does a pool rate on your list of must-haves? You know, floor plan, RV parking. So there's so many things for them to consider. And obviously, in today's market, you know, you would do good to find 2 or 3 of these things that actually come off of the must-have list. You know, because everybody's making so many compromises today. But in a more traditional market, which, you know, I suspect we'll eventually get back to, these are really, really, really important things to consider. You know, when they have 40 different homes to choose from, because the homes aren't selling every day as fast as they are now. So it's just really, really good information for them to have to think about, and then to pass on, obviously, to you. So what are your needs, wants, and wishes? You know, if these were possible, it would be really cool, right? Of course, you can download and tinker with this paperwork, and you can personalize it, customize it, make it your own, put your own brand or logo on there, do whatever you want with it. But I think, you know, the buyer consultation is something that is critically important, but it's something that's so easy to skip over, because so many times, you know, you just want to run out and meet that buyer at the house that they called on, because that's the easiest thing to do. That's the easy thing to do. And that's what I've always done, you know, easy button. So it's a little more difficult, but a whole lot more professional, I think, to say, well, listen, there's a lot we need to talk about in order to build a strategy to help you buy a home in today's market. Let's meet at the office for 45 minutes and lay out a plan to help you win a home in today's market. That, to me, comes across as so much more professional. And when you do that, I think they're going to see you and this process a little more professional. Then, you know, normally what I've done is I'll just rush right out, meet them at the house, and I'll stand at the kitchen counter, and I'll go through this, you know, vomiting of information. You know, off the top of my head, I have nothing formal, nothing written, you know, and hope for the best, you know, and we lose people that way, right? For whatever reason, that didn't work for them. I think if we can encourage them to meet with us in the office, in an environment, in our environment, then I think it just adds a whole new level of professionalism. And so go and get these resources. These are fantastic resources. These are all important questions. And I love, again, the fact that he brings up referral as the goal at the beginning of the process, because it just makes it so much easier for you to ask for referrals while you're going through this process. You know, if you remind them that, hey, statistically, everybody knows 6 people that are going to move each year. You know, I want to be that person that you think of when Steve at work is talking about moving. You know. And then obviously you can go from that into some of the Joe Stump language that we're learning through the book and how to obtain maybe that referral. So it's a pretty good segue, pretty good transition into chapter 12 of the book, actually, which we can go into now. I'll try to make that quick. So yeah, so Stream. So make sure that you get the Stream app on your phone, and make sure that you come in and check out this class, if no other. if you have any intention of working with a buyer one day.
That was a great webinar.
It was, right? Yeah,
Yeah, station, I watched it here.
yeah, I thought so too. Oh,
What did I do?
cool.
We watched that buyer webinar the other day.
So,
There was a closing here that day. Yeah.
so we're going to absolutely incorporate that into our new agent orientation process. That's a really good idea. Really, really good. All right, let me get out of here. Cool. You know what? Since I have them in my email, I could actually attach them to the TGIF tonight. That way you guys would have them.
Yes, you could.
If I remember. All right. Let's see. Location, price, motivation, agent, mortgage appointment, right? And source, that's right. We want to track those source of those leads that are coming in. So very important. So I thought too, you know, this is the conversation that you would have on the phone, right? This is the conversation that, you know, when you're speaking to a new lead for the very first time, this might be how you begin, right? With the LP Mama script. And obviously the goal of LP Mama is to get that appointment.
Appointment.
And then in that appointment, you have the buyer consultation and you have the Dale Mattson content and materials and the needs and the wants sheet. And then of course you have the Joe Stump talking about your purpose and planting that seed for referrals. So it all kind of works together in that regard. I thought that was pretty cool. Pretty cool. So page 137 in the PDF, it would be page, let's see, 130 in your hardcover. So paperback copy of the book. So, so this is, I think, where we left off. And so I'm not sure if we've actually gone all the way through this. I think I may have talked about it briefly. Do you guys remember? Does this look like something that we've gone through in depth? No?
I don't remember overcoming
Okay.
procrastination.
Okay, all right, cool. So let's do that. I thought it was really interesting and I love the end of this chapter. It's a little bit long, so bear with me. If you guys want to take turns reading, we could do that. Like pass it around the room. So, oh gosh, be the strong person they're looking for to overcome procrastination. And I can totally relate this to myself in some situations. And so my guess is you may be able to as well. So what do you do when you hear something like this? My dad is moving and he needs an agent or a lender, but I'm not really comfortable referring or recommending him to you.
Why the hell not?
Why the hell not? Exactly. I mean, it's a little offensive. But on the other hand, you know, I think we had talked about this. You know, some of us have people that we know and like for our own purposes, but we don't necessarily want to recommend to other people. It could be a contractor, it could be, you know, a mortgage person, it could be a whatever, because for some reason we're hesitant to refer that person to somebody else because we don't know, you know, how that other person might react to the person that we're referring, right? I mean, you guys could probably see that in somebody that you know or have worked with in the past. So I thought it was an interesting way to start. So if you've ever had any version of that before, you know that there's an awkward moment of silence. So here are the magic words that you can use to overcome it. Well, Larry, I really appreciate that. And I'm glad that you trust me enough to be honest with me. I couldn't imagine saying that personally.
Nope.
I'm just not sure that those are the words I would say. I might lean more towards the, well, why the hell not? But I'm glad that you trust me enough to be honest with me. And after a nice pause, you might say, And in a few months from now, when your dad is calling you and thanking you for introducing me to him, you'll look back at this moment and laugh about how you were slightly concerned before you decided to introduce me to him, and feeling good because he's the person that you really care about. And I imagine you want him to get the best advice possible from someone you believe in, don't you?
Put the screws to them.
I'm telling you, that's putting the screws to him right there. That is a very long sentence.
But you know what he did? He used and instead of but, you know, and I've read that before, and I think it may have been in this book too. Anytime you're about to say but, you can use the word and it just it carries it on, but it doesn't give that negative connotation that you're about to say but. So
Right,
see how-
right.
and that's, you know, I think that's why the ands are highlighted. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 in that sentence.
I think it's fantastic that you picked up on that,
Mhm.
because he's going to talk about the word and as soon as we flip the page here.
Oh, well, then I'll
This
just get
is
off.
this is a complex language pattern because you're dealing with hesitancy. So what do people really want when they hesitate? Leadership. And I thought this really was so applicable. So Emerson said the mass of men are silently begging to be led. So when somebody is hesitant, they're looking for someone who is stronger than their urge, not stronger than they are, but stronger than their urge to delay, to procrastinate, or to hold back. And I think there's a lot of truth in that. Even for me, when I'm uncertain or unsure, I would love for somebody else to tell me what to do, you know? And I think, you know, that for me, I can see, you know, pretty often, I'm looking for someone else to take the reins and lead me in the right direction, or to tell me to go here, or read this book, or to watch this video, or to do this thing, or to say this, whenever we're unsure. So there's a lot going on with this dialogue because it leads someone's thoughts from where they are at to a place where you want them to go. So the power of future pacing. A magic words technique to show leadership is called future pacing. It's an advanced strategy and very powerful. When you learn how to use it in the months and years ahead, you'll easily be a better leader. One of the most important things you'll learn when you're asking for a referral is how to help people experience an advanced feeling of how they're going to feel once they give you the referral, which I thought was really cool too. So the idea is to plant this seed of how you will feel in the future. Because at the end of the day, you know, always remember and never forget that the number one reason people refer is for how they feel, right? It makes us feel good. If somebody comes up to you and says, hey, do you know a good painter? And you say, oh, you got to call my buddy John, right? You feel like you provided value to not only the person asking for the referral, but also to John. Because you gave that referral, it makes us feel good. And so what you're doing then is you're planting the seed that says, by referring me, you will feel good in the future, right? That's pretty cool, pretty deep, I think. Future pacing means suggesting the good feelings people will feel in the future and getting them to feel that future feeling now. So you let them experience right now what's going to feel like when they do refer someone to you. And so did you notice the trans language? Here's that word and. Notice the trans word and. You can count the number of ands that are inside that dialogue. And I think we had somebody count them. So it's pretty dang cool.
Wise person.
So every and drops a person down a little deeper into a trance. And he says, I'm cautious of using the word trance because it has a tone of manipulation. But if you look up the word manipulation, it means to move with intent. And you can manipulate for good reasons and you can manipulate for bad reasons. The word trance only refers to a form of disassociation. A trance is a natural state we all experience from time to time. Daydreaming is a form of trance. When we daydream, we focus on something internal that causes us to decrease our awareness of what's happening around us right now. That's all a trance is. It does have kind of a negative connotation, but when you define it, I think we can separate the good from the bad. I've always wanted to be hypnotized. I thought that would be cool. I wanted to be hypnotized to quit smoking years and years ago, and I just thought, man, it would be so easy to just go get hypnotized and fix everything. So that's a trance. So you could even be in a trance right now. Wake up as you read this. You could be focused inward, having an internal story going on about what I'm thinking about or what I'm talking about right now, and not even be aware of what's going on with your right leg until I just brought it into your awareness. So, right? So,
That's power.
so when you use trans language in a dialogue, what you're doing is you're creating a future picture that people are putting themselves into, in which they no longer aware of what's happening in the moment right now. When you use future pace, use trans language, you help people experience what kind of feeling you want them to have in the future when they refer someone to you. You want them to have that feeling now. So here's how you can mesmerize them. The concept of trans language was introduced by a guy named Frank Mesmer, which I thought was interesting. Mesmerize, mesmer. Now you know the root of the word, mesmerize, Frank Mesmer. So Frank Mesmer first talked about the natural condition of hypnosis, or the idea that we can get into a hypnotic trance, a state called mesmerized. When you're in a trance, your focus becomes very narrow and your internal imagery is an unfolding story. You can become mesmerized by the story, so immersed that you feel like you're in it. Stories are very trance-like. I know a lot of people love reading for that reason, because they feel like, it moves them to another place. Some people prefer books, over movies, not me, but some people do, because it feels more real to them, because they go into that trance-like state. So let me tell you a story. Imagine a seawall and a path along it on one side and the beach on the other. Several summers ago, a teacher was sitting on the seawall, resting and eating a sandwich while observing events on the beach. There were two young boys, about 6 years old, playing together and running around, having a lot of fun. When they got tired from all of the activity, they sat down near the teacher and began talking to one another. The teacher was listening carefully to their language. Perhaps these kids had just met, or maybe they had known each other for a while, but she was just observing and listening, noticing for the rate at which the kids talked, and which kid talked more and which kid talked less. Finally, the teacher said to the boys, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" One says, "I'm going to be a brain surgeon." The other kid says, "Gosh, I don't really know what I'll be. I never thought about what I want to be. I'm not that bright. I know that. I'm not that smart to be a brain surgeon." He could be a real estate agent. So, hey.
Watch your mouth.
The kids got up and ran off, and the teacher sat there wondering where that second little boy's development of his belief had come from. She thought it had probably come from another teacher or a parent or someone else, because at the age of 6, it didn't come from true experience. She thought that if he doesn't have anyone help him change his beliefs, it will affect him for the rest of his life. That limiting sense of possibility will hold him back from his potential. Beliefs are not true. That's so powerful. Beliefs are not true. They are constructs around which we organize our behaviors. So we act as if our beliefs are true. We believe that every belief is true. For that reason, our beliefs come true. If you could just highlight that paragraph, to me, that is so freaking deep. When I read this a couple weeks ago, I was like, that is just so freaking powerful. Beliefs are not true. We only believe they're true. So therefore we make them come true. So, if you get in your head a little bit, to me, the suggestion is, if you change your beliefs, you change your life, you change your future, you change everything.
Kind of like change how you talk to purpose around stuff.
Yeah.
Always negative, you're always going to be negative.
Exactly.
You're always positive and positive.
Exactly. That's what you tend to see. So beliefs are either empowering or limiting or self-fulfilling prophecies. I love when people say to me, trances are manipulation. Well, that's their belief, and their belief will guide them whenever they hear the word trans. Alternatively, they can decide trans language is a way for me to help influence people to move in the direction of the dream that they have. And it's incumbent upon me to help them feel that way, the way they feel in the future when they do feel comfortable referring someone to me. So I thought that was a cool way to end the chapter, was to talk about the power of beliefs, be they empowering or limiting. Pretty cool. I can help them expand their sense of possibility. So to me, trans language is a way for me to help influence people to move in the direction of the dream that they have, period. Right? So if I can learn some verbal skills and some dialogue, some language that will help me move in the direction of the dream that they have, help them move in that direction, then I think it's empowering.
Jason, if I can interject.
Yeah.
I think on an unconscious level that we as agents probably do that anyway, especially in our conversations with buyers, because I think, buyers have a tendency to doubt that it's really going to happen. And I find that I have to encourage them to, and I'll say something like, but wait until you get in that house. You're going to decorate it. You're going to love that backyard. You're going to have those cookouts. And I have to encourage them to hold on to that dream. Yes, especially now, it's difficult, it's stressful, but you're going to be so happy when it's over. And that's, in a sense, that's like getting them that trance.
No, it really is. It's helping them to see and feel the feelings they will have in the future.
Mhm.
And I do that too, and you could call it selling on one hand. On the other hand, you could call that helping me to move and helping them to move in the direction of their dream.
Yeah.
Right? Is that
Encourage.
selling?
That's
You
right.
know? I mean, I think we're helping them achieve their goal, right? Their goal
Right.
is to find a home where they can have cookouts and sit on the back deck and mow the lawn for some reason, whatever. Watch the birds, feed the birds, that sort of thing. That's their dream. And I'm just reminding them that this is what you want. Imagine how you'll feel when, Saturday afternoon, you're cooking on the grill, getting ready for the big game and your friends are coming over. Those are the feelings that you want to portray now, because ultimately that's what they want. That's their dream.
And the other part of what you were saying too is, it goes back to, I forget what it was relative, but my mind went to mindset. We know that if we think we can do it, we can do it. If we think we can't do it, we can't do it. Like the two little boys, and I think I heard once that we develop our inner belief system by the time we're 6. I think I heard 6. One time I heard 3, but 3 sounds like it's a little bit young. And how old was this little boy? Did she say he was 6? Oh,
6.
okay. Yeah. So by the time we're there, we already have a picture of ourselves guided by what other people have said, one way or the other. Positively, you can do anything you want to do, or, well, you can't do that. You're not smart enough for that. Obviously, he's been told that he's not smart enough to do something.
Yeah, at 6 years old, he doesn't obviously have those thoughts or beliefs from life experience.
Right.
They've
right.
come to him, unfortunately, through probably some adult
Teachers
or
or-
other influence in his life, which has caused him to believe those things, which are absolutely not true.
Yeah.
To him, unfortunately, they are true because he believes they're true.
Yeah. And in the launch class, we talk about that as being a fixed mindset or a growth mindset.
Yeah.
So, we're all real estate agents, so we know anything is possible. We're all growth mindset.
Yeah.
But it's buyers that might be a fixed mindset, and we have to encourage them to keep that positivity going. We're going to make this happen. I'm going to make this happen for you. Okay. That's my job.
Cool. Well, that was it, guys. That's the end of that chapter. So we'll move on to chapter 13 next time. But there's no more questions or comments with respect to what we've gone over today. We'll go ahead and close this out.
So I did all the talking. Sorry, people.
We like to talk.
Thanks, Mom.
I've had a stressful morning already. I can't believe it's only 12 o'clock. It's like,
Oh,
you gotta
wow.
be kidding me. I've been out and back and all over the place. Whew. So, all right.
Too early. I mean, it's not even 12 o'clock yet. It's way
I
too
know,
early.
that's what I mean. I'm
Stress.
exhausted already. I'm wired and it's not even 12 o'clock yet. I need a nap.
Yeah. Go start over.
All right. Bye, guys. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.